So girls, like I said, today we are going to discuss on the pulses. So why I choose this plant Pigeon P, because it is one of the most important. As you can see here, it is written here that it is considered as the most important pulse crop in India. So since we are particularly concentrating on those crops which are important in our country, in India, so this is one of the most important pulse crop. Now the botanical name, as you can see here, it is Canagus cajon, and its vernacular name, it is known in India, it is known by the name Arhar, Kandulu, Tuvara, Tovari, and there are etc. so many other vernacular names. So like I said, it is considered as the most important pulse crop, and it is its origin, the plant is probably native to Africa. Okay, this plant is native to Africa, and it was cultivated in Egypt even before 2200 BC. But now, as we all know, that this plant is cultivated in all the tropical areas of the world. So these are other countries besides India. You see here Africa, America, Australia, and West Indies. They are the important pigeon pea producing countries. And so these you will write under the heading area of cultivation. Okay, in India it is mostly cultivated in these states, that is Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu. So these are the area of cultivation of this particular crop plant. So now we will come to the botanical characteristic. Okay, so the next subtopic, subheading is botanical characteristic of this plant. Now this plant, just remember, it is profusely branched. It has many branches, and it is an annual or a perennial shrub. We know that annual plants, they grow only in a single season and then they die. But perennial plants, they usually regrow in another spring. So this particular plant is annual, or it is also perennial. Okay, it can be annual, it grows only in a single season and then it dies, or it regrows in another season. And its height is about 0.6 to 3 meter high, as I have given in the notes. And the leaves here, they are stipulate. Okay, what is the meaning of stipulate leaves? Sorry, the leaves, stipulate leaves, because they are growing on each side of the branch. Okay, so they are stipulate or trifoliate. And as you can see clearly here, that the flowers, they are yellow or purple in color. As in this case, you can see some yellowish and some are purple in color, and they are borne in axillary corymbos, racemes, which form a terminal panicle. You can see they grow in bunches. Okay, 2 to 3 flowers, both male and female flowers. And uh, coming to the buds, as you can see here in this figure, these are the buds. Okay, they are referred to as the buds. Or let me show you in this another picture, it's more clearer. So these buds, as you can see, they are long and they are constricted obliquely between the seeds. You can see that the seeds are present in between, and they are constricted. They are lying in a they are lying flat on the on this pot. You can see in both, in all these pots here, you can see these seeds, they are constricted in the pots, they are constricted obliquely between these seeds. And they are also, when they are mature, actually the seeds, they are usually dark chocolate red in color, but in this case, as you can see, they are greenish in color. But when they mature, the seeds become dark chocolate red in color. And the cotyledons, okay, when the seeds, when the plant is germinate, so the cotyledons, they are light to deep yellow in color. Okay, so the first leaves which come up during germination, they are usually light to deep yellow in color. So these are some characteristic of this particular plant. Now we are Coming to the cultivation. So again, as I said that you can see here in this figure, right here, you can see that most of the leaves showing here, they are trifoliate. You can see they are three in number. Tri meaning three, right? So there are three leaflets which are coming from the single, from this one, from this single stalk. Okay, so there are three leaves. So most of the leaves showing here, they are trifoliate, but you can see that you will find that some pigeon pea plants, the leaves, they are not only trifoliate but they are stipulate. Okay, the leaves, single leaves are coming out from the stem, from the branches. Now coming to the cultivation, first we will talk about the soils. You can write this topic as soil. Okay, this paragraph you can give the topic as soil. Now the crop, it can be raised on the conditions, okay, on a wide variety of soils. Although just remember that this plant, it can be grown in a wide variety of soils, but it thrives best in these two type of soil, that is sandy or clayey loam. And coming to the climate, the next topic you can write as climate. You can see that this particular plant, it is drought resistant, and that means it can be grown in dry conditions also, because it is resistant to drought, and it can tolerating dry areas with less than 65 centimeter annual rainfall. Okay, so this is the climate which can be grown, where this particular crop plant can be grown. And coming to the cultivation, it is grown as a pure, or it can be mixed with other crops. Okay, for growing of this particular crop, it can be grown alone or it can be mixed with sorghum, millet, sesame, cotton, maize, groundnut, etc., and many other crop plants. It can be grown at the same time, mixed with these, intermixed cropping. So for pure crops, when you grow only this particular crop, it is usually sown at a 2.5 to 5 centimeter deep in rows, 40 to 120 centimeter. And for mixed crops, it is sown in rows, okay, with the space given between those rows given 1.2 to 2.1 meter space should be given in between these rows. But the spaces also, it depends from one crop plant to another crop plant. Okay, it depends. Suppose you are growing this crop plant with sorghum, then the space will be different. You are growing with millets, the space will be different, but it is usually around 1.2 to 2.1 meter. And sowing is usually done in the month of June to July, and it takes, after sowing, it usually takes 6 to 10 months to mature the crop. Okay, so this is the cultivation of pigeon pea plant. Now coming to the harvesting, as you can see here that the harvesting is done between the month of January to March. Okay, it is usually done between the month of January to March, and the pods, the ones I had shown to you, those pods, they are collected as and when mature. Okay, when they become chocolate red brown in color, when the pods become darker brown in color, they are collected, and ultimately the plants, they are cut 7.5 to 20 centimeter above the ground. So you have to remember the way they are harvested. Okay, 7.5 to 20 centimeter above the ground, they are cut when the leaves begin to shed. Okay, when the leaves become yellowish in color, they turn yellowish in color and they become dry. Okay, so when they begin to shed, it is time for harvesting. And at maturity, the pods of the pigeon pea plant, they do not shatter their seeds. Okay, so the seeds, they remain inside the pod. Okay, they do not come out easily, even when they are roughly handled. So that is why threshing this particular point here. Threshing is done, okay, to remove the seeds from the pods. Threshing is done as on a specially constructed floor, or they in some areas they usually done by trampling the plants under the feet of cattle, okay, in order to release the pods, the seeds from the pods. And then after trampling, after threshing is done, the seeds and the chaff, they are separated by winnowing. Okay, winnowing, that is the use of air current to remove the chaff from the seeds. So here, let me show you. Okay, this portion you don't need to write. Okay, now this particular part here you can write as, okay, this one you can write it as composition. Now you see that pigeon pea, it has a very high nutritive value. You can see it consists about 22.3% of proteins, 1.7% of fats, 57.2% carbohydrates, and 3.6% minerals. So it has a high nutritive value, and it consists of two important proteins, okay, which are present in pigeon pea. They are cagenin and concagenin. These are the two very important proteins present in pigeon pea. And the next topic here, the next subheading, you can write it as the improved varieties. So you can this you can read by yourself. These are some of the improved varieties which are cultivated in India. Now coming to the uses of pigeon pea plant, we can see that it is mostly used as a pulse. So now coming to the uses, like I said, that it is mostly used as a pulse, okay, in India, but it has so many other important uses. As you can see here, that the green leaves, they provide an excellent fodder, and they are also utilized as a green manure. Now I had already explained earlier, also you have seen that many other crop plants, they can be used as a fodder. So this is also one of the it acts as an excellent fodder meanings they are the kind of food giving to the cattle or other livestock. Okay, so it is a food, especially of these dried straw of pigeon pea, the straw which have become dried, they can be served as a food for cattle and other livestock. And the next important uses is that these dried stalks, they are not only used as a manure or as a fodder, but they can be used for making baskets or as a fuel. Okay, they can be used for making baskets or fuels. And in this region, Madagascar, the leaves, they are usually used for rearing silkworms. Okay, they are usually used for rearing silkworms. And this pigeon pea plant, you can see it is one of the most important plants. Why? Because it can also act as a wind barrier. Okay, it can prevent other crop plants from the wind, okay, from the strong wind. So it acts as a wind barrier, and also it is very effective against soil erosion. We know that soil erosion, which can be occur due to maybe due to heavy rainfall, but if you in place where this pigeon pea plant is cultivated, it can prevent soil erosion in that particular area. And medicinally, it has also important medicinal properties, like many other crops that we have already studied, from those cereals, spices, condiments. We see that almost all the plants, each plants, they usually have one or few medicinal properties. So this plant also, it has medicinal properties. And the important medicinal properties is that the young leaves, they can be applied to sores. Okay, when you are having sores, the young leaves, they usually make a paste, okay, out of the leaves, and they apply it to the sores. Whereas the salted leaf juice, okay, the juice is extracted from the leaf, and they are usually given to those patients which has jaundice. Okay, so remember this, that if you come across any person which has jaundice, they can be treated using the leaves of these pigeon pea. They are very effective for people having jaundice. And also this leaf decoction meaning the leaf they are boiled, okay, so that the chemicals which are present, all those remember we have studied these compositions which are present in the pigeon pea, so all these they may come out in the water, okay, during boiling. So the leaf they are boiled, and that decoction is used for diseases, okay, related to genital problems and other skin irritations. Whereas the decoction obtained from flowers, from the floral decoctions, meaning the decoctions that are obtained from flowers, they can be used for diseases related to the lungs. Okay, those diseases which are related to the lungs, such as bronchitis, cough, and pneumonia, and actually some other disease which are related to the respiratory system, to the lungs. And you see here the fruits also are very useful, but the unripe fruits, okay, the unripe fruits, they usually make a paste from the unripe fruits as well as the leaves that is applied to mammy. Okay, mammy is actually the the breast, we can say the breast of the human female, okay, in order to check excess lactation, okay, during breastfeeding. So in order to check if there is any excess lactation, these leaves, okay, they are usually make the paste from the leaves or the unripe fruits of the pigeon pea plant and applied on the mammy, so that to check the excess lactation. So these are a few important medicinal uses or medicinal property of pigeon pea plant.